Just a moment ago, the Deep Sea King infiltrated the evacuation shelter and immediately defeated 4 heroes. Before reaching here, he took out 3 more without even taking a scratch, including a Class S and 3 Class A heroes. Saitama is too far away to be of any assistance, and while all seems lost for the humans, Genos arrives just in time to get to action. But will Genos alone be enough to handle this monster? Or will the humans meet a devastating fate? We kick off immediately with Genos asking if he is indeed the Deep Sea King. Genos cuts to the chase, blasting the Deep Sea King with a powerful punch followed by his destructive fire cannon. Victorious, Genos turns to the survivors and confidently asks, "Was that the last of them?" The crowd all cheer in ecstatic relief, and Genos comments that they must have been desperate. The Sea King reappears behind Genos and sends him flying, ripping off one of his arms in the process. While the Deep Sea King has finally received some damage, it wasn't enough to completely finish him off. Genos scolds himself, letting his guard down yet again. Elsewhere, Saitama is on the phone with the Hero Association. Considering rank C heroes have been told to avoid this disaster due to the severity of the monster, they confirm that Saitama is sure he wants to go considering the danger. Saitama simply responds, "Hurry it up, it's raining." The association give him the location, determined to see just how strong Saitama truly is. Mumen ruthlessly continues his stand-up peddling mode to be of assistance immediately. Genos orders the civilians to run for it, saying he can't promise to win the fight. The Sea King attempts to catch the humans, but Genos is there to protect them. The 2 exchange hits, and even with one arm Genos is still able to keep pressure on the Sea King. Genos uppercuts the monster outside, and blasts him again with his cannon. Following the beast outside, he activates Lightning Eye, blinding the monster. Kicking him back into the roof, he uses machine gun blows to blast the monster back into the shelter. Probably not the best idea. Clutching her rabbit teddy, a young girl gives Genos some words of encouragement, which the Sea King doesn't respect. Spitting a ball of acid at her, Genos has no choice but to heroically take the hit to save the little girl's life. Burning almost to death, the Sea King grabs and punches Genos out of the shelter and moves in for the kill, scolding Genos for his foolish decision. Bragging about how he's recovered from all of Genos' damage, he prepares to finish Genos off.
Justice Crash!
Suddenly, a brave C-class hero, Mumen Rider, attacks the monster without hesitation. Knowing he's no match, he can't sit idly by while a hero is about to be killed, and charges the monster alone. The crowd spot Mumen in the distance, but aren't optimistic about his chances. Stating he's bored before Mumen has even attacked, the Sea King grabs his punch and continues to slam Mumen into the ground, before his glove slips off and sends him flying. A valiant effort for such a weak man. Despite being distracted, the Sea King returns to Genos for the kill.
Tackle!
But Mumen isn't done. Tackling the monster while it transforms back into its prime state, Mumen is again blasted away. However, for what Mumen lacks in strength, he makes up for in courage and dedication. He admits that no one expects much from him, and recognizes that he might not be good enough to advance into Class B, but that won't stop him from doing what's right and spearheading into danger despite the consequences. He'll take the Sea King on, right here and right now. The crowd are mesmerized. How can such a weak man display such courage? Mumen wants to attack, but is shaking, knowing it would be certain death. Suddenly, a voice is heard. "You can do it, Mumen!" A young boy is shouting out words of encouragement, and motivates the spectators to do the same. They all start cheering Mumen on, and Mumen remembers what he's fighting for. Armed with this new motivation, he hypes himself up to charge the beast and sends out a devastating. The crowd watch in horror as Mumen is yet again blasted into the air. However, instead of hitting the ground this time, Mumen is caught by a red glove on top of a yellow sleeve. "Nice fight, man," Saitama says. "You should be proud." Ignoring the Sea King, he is shocked to see Genos so defeated, but relaxes once he hears Genos is able to speak. "Give me a sec," he says, "I gotta pound this sea freak or whatever." Enraged, the Sea King punches Saitama, only managing to bobble his head like a toy. Impressed, the Sea King recognizes that he's not like the others he's faced, and begins explaining his backstory. The crowd tried to find comfort in Saitama's arrival, but upon hearing he's only Class C reconfirmed they're likely still doomed. The Sea King explains, all organisms on the surface come from the sea, as if the sea were its mother. Being the king of the sea, he is also the king of the earth. Defying the Sea King would be defying yeah, it's raining bro, can we finish this already? Unable to process what just happened, the crowd scream in disbelief and eventually erupt in celebration. They start shouting, "One punch! All it took was one punch!" Genos simply smiles, already knowing what would happen. Saitama is simply hiding his devastation that yet again, he got his hopes up for a real fight. Sonic finally returns for round 2, but for the fastest ninja alive he was too slow on this one. The next day Genos and Saitama are walking home from the shops, and receive their mail by air drone since this area is too dangerous to deliver by courier. It's mostly fan mail, and Saitama is excited to hear some is for him. Genos is uncomfortable reading his, seeing it's incredibly supportive, saying he's one of the coolest heroes ever and they're his biggest fan. Saitama nervously opens his one. Despite defeating the Sea King, he receives a letter which says no one cares about you, you dirty, lying, cheat. Infuriated, Genos ensures he'll find out who sent it, but Saitama simply says here's a guy with free time. Genos reminisces on the aftermath of Saitama's victory. While the crowd is celebrating, this short, chubby, greasy-haired troll denounces Saitama's strength and says the monster must not have been that strong. After all, this bald Class C took it out in one punch. Disbelievers remind him how many heroes it defeated, but Chubster responds that they must have been weak as well. Angered, one man grabs him, and Chubster asks why he's getting so mad when the Hero Association is funded via public donations, so they're obligated to defeat monsters and all failed to do so. Anybody can come up with a way to buy time, but the heroes didn't do anything heroic at all. Somehow, the public are on the fence about whether or not they agree with him. Suddenly, Saitama erupts into laughter. Confused, the crowd listened to Saitama claim that the heroes fought the monster so hard that arriving late to steal the kill was a piece of cake, and will grant him easy access into Class B. He plays the villain, and the crowd begin to recognize him as the Class C rookie who climbed the rankings suspiciously fast. Disgusted, the crowd conclude that Saitama is a cheater, and their appreciation for the other heroes skyrockets tremendously, while their respect for Saitama plummets. Saitama makes sure that the public take care of the fallen heroes, so he can continue to cash in on their hard work. Genos watches in disbelief, stating that if this is truly the path Saitama wants to walk, he will follow him loyally until the end. Saitama simply enjoys the fact that it stopped raining. Back to the present, Saitama has one more letter to open while Genos monitors with extreme caution. It's a thank you letter, showing at least someone appreciates Saitama. On top of that, he receives a summons to the Hero Association headquarters. He's been promoted to Class C Rank 1. The association asks Saitama if he wants to advance to Class B, but it will be no easy task and the work only continues to get harder. Saitama accepts solely due to the fact that there would be no more weekly quotas, and secretly because he has to catch back up to Genos. Higher ups spectate from a distance. Stinger and Max are making their recovery in the hospital, relieved to see the monster was dealt with. Suddenly, they hear someone shout it's time for their angel shots. It's Puri Puri, and immediately the two men flee for their lives, dropping the newspaper. It's there that Puri sees the headline. A Class S failure. Walking home with his Class B certificate in hand, Saitama's nose leads him into a nearby shop. Inside is Mumen Rider, and he congratulates him on his promotion and offers to buy Saitama's meal for him. Saitama finally recalls Mumen for the cyclist who assisted him on that day. Saitama relates to Mumen being in Class C due to the weekly quotas being so hard to meet, and Mumen exchanges words of encouragement with him, before almost slamming into the back of a truck. Upon recognizing Mumen, Saitama takes him up on his offer and orders the shop's best Mizuku. On that note, our 2-part episode ends. Be sure to subscribe if you enjoyed, and get ready for the thrilling 3-part we have coming up next. See you soon, Kings.